Hello everybody, Argent here. And if you've seen the title, you might think, he's finally snapped, he's finally gone crazy. Thing is, I watched this movie with my friend Abstract, and I said I have to do a review of this. People have been asking me about it. This is like an epic piece of shit. This was obviously the most disliked trailer on YouTube of all time. So I figured, why not just do a review of it, but do an edited review of it? Just to kind of see. I haven't done an edited review before. So I figured, let's take clips from the movie to illustrate my point, and let's see just how this goes. You see, people these days have been conditioned. They've been conditioned by the media and by these channels on YouTube to think just because you do editing, you make it into like this highly edited montage with comedy skits and all this stuff is just necessarily better than raw, unedited content, quality content. And I can't watch it. I see it for a couple minutes and I want to throw up. But I'm going to do it because it's necessary to help my business. And if this took me 4 hours to make, and if I don't get views off of this, I'm not going to do it again. But without further ado, let's get into our movie, Ghostbusters 2016. So I guess a little bit of background. For those of you who haven't seen the original Ghostbusters movie, I highly recommend it. Somehow, despite being from the 1980s, the special effects are way better in that movie. This movie was awful. I expected it going into the movie for it to be really bad. I mean, they replaced all of the original Ghostbusters with, these people. And in particular, they added in Leslie Jones. And I mean, if that's not enough to make a movie suck from the get-go, yeah, I don't think I really need to say anything about that picture. I think it speaks for itself. So as I was expecting the movie to be really paused, and I thought that kind of left-wing shit would be the main thing that made this movie bad. But it really wasn't. I mean, the fact that they replaced all the Ghostbusters with women was bad. And there was kind of like some subtle feminism. But really the thing that made this movie a piece of shit wasn't that. It was that the action scenes were horrible. The pacing was horrible. There was no plot. It has some of the worst written jokes I've ever seen in a movie. Women just in general can't be funny. There's a couple women who are funny. But female humor, I find, has like no timing. Generally no subtlety. It's like the jokes in this movie are literally just them being like, oh, that's not a picture of me. Oh yeah, that is a picture of me. Ha ha ha. Oh, that's like he takes a sip of the coffee. I hate coffee. Oh yeah, there is sugar in the coffee after all. I just hate it. And it's just shit like that. This whole movie was awful, ill-conceived. I just like to say a big fuck you to Bill Murray for putting his name on it and approving this thing. He blocked Ghostbusters 3 for years because he said it's just not going to be good. So instead he made this piece of shit with, once again, Leslie Jones in it. Oh my god, I can't even look at that. And that's what they came up with. So I just want you guys to suffer with me as we go through the shit show that is Ghostbusters 2016 when this piece is? I don't even remember. But let's get into let's just start. So you may not be afraid of no ghost, but you should be afraid of this movie because it's a piece of shit. So our film sets out with a couple of the things that will make this movie shitty. Horrific special effects and every male character either being retarded or effeminate and at least gay presenting, if not actually gay. So the movie starts out in a mansion, and there's a ghost in the mansion, and the ghost tries to kill a tour guide. Now, what does this have to do with the rest of the movie? Absolutely nothing. Well, not quite nothing. They investigate it later, and that makes Erin get fired from her job, but largely it's just so that we can have a ghost scene at the beginning of the movie. So I'm going to play a clip from it, and you can see the quality of the special effects and the respectful way they portray men in this film.
Oh, Garrett, you idiot. No.
So we cut to our protagonist, Erin, who's trying to get tenure at a university as a theoretical physicist. Unfortunately, back when she was younger, she had co-written a book about ghosts with a fellow physician, Abby Yates, played by Melissa McCarthy. Yes, Melissa McCarthy. The worst thing to happen to comedy since, I don't know, Tracy Morgan, that asshole from Cop Out. Yes, so did you enjoy that movie Identity Thief, where she played a sociopath who stole someone's identity and ruined his life? Well, she's back, and she's better than ever. But yeah, so they wrote a book apparently like years ago, and Abby, because she's a sociopath, posted the book on Amazon and audiobook format. And if the boss of Erin finds out that she wrote the book, then she won't get tenure for some reason. So because she wrote the book, though, the guy who owns the mansion from the opening clip goes to her, and because he wants to call someone who knows about ghosts. This is post-Christian, so we're not going to bring a Catholic priest in to deal with this.
This really does look like you.
What? No. Yeah, that's me. Look, it was a very long time ago, and it was just a gag between a couple of friends. Sorry.
A 460-page gag? The first sentence is, "This is not a joke."
So that's the kind of quality content and quality humor that we can expect throughout this movie. There's nothing clever, there's no sarcasm, there's no kind of humorous writing like the original Ghostbusters with like all the deadpan and stuff. Instead, we're treated to jokes that are they're just such like something a kindergartner would write. It's like, this is a joke. Well, the book's first line says this is not a joke. And it's just, there's no timing. It's just awful. So after seeing the book, Erin says, I got to stop this book from being printed. If my boss, who's played by Charles Dance, why the hell is he's in this movie? I don't know. He wanted to make a cameo in this piece of shit. So Charles Dance is her boss, and if he finds out that she's involved with ghosts, she won't get the job. So she goes to confront Abby, aka Melissa McCarthy, to get her to take the book down. And as she enters, we're treated to this piece of comedic gold.
Hello?
I've been waiting a long time.
Has been a while, hasn't it?
I hope you brought me more than one wonton.
Excuse me? Oh.
Get it? She thought that Abby was talking to her, but she was talking to the Indian delivery guy who works for a Chinese restaurant. I mean, that's pretty clever. That's an original joke. If you thought that was funny, though, we have some more misunderstanding word games on the level of I can tell you where you got them shoes. If you don't know that reference, look it up. But here we go.
Here you go. Why don't you show Miss Gilbert to the door?
Oh, it's just the same door we came in from.
Yeah, no, I know
It's
how
really
to
not
get
that
it. It's
hard.
figured it's
Don't.
I tried.
Poorly.
Once again, the kind of humor you can expect for this movie. I'll get into some other reasons why this movie sucks later, but the beginning of the movie especially stresses just how bad the writing is, how bad the jokes are. And people say, Argent, lots of movies have bad jokes. Lots of movies you like have bad jokes. That's true, but this movie was a cinematic money shot. This was the big thing. This movie somehow had a budget of $150 million, not counting probably its massive advertising budget. Yeah, so it somehow had that much money. You think they could hire like a decent writer. I mean, I could have written a better movie if I just wrote the script in one go. But it's about to be turned up to 11 with the high quality of the script, as Abby explains why she put the book back up and why Erin was a fool to ever try to take the book down.
Was our baby, and you abandoned that baby before it even learned to fly.
Okay, well, books can't fly, and neither can babies, so.
You don't know. I'll tell you what, if I had a human baby that could fly, I wouldn't be telling the press about it. If I had a flying baby, I'd zip this, and so would you.
So the reason she put the book back online is because if she had a flying baby, she would keep it from the press. And the book is a flying baby, so she has to show it to the press. So the metaphor, it doesn't make any of the sense. But just because the wonton joke was so funny and so clever, we're going to have a continuation of the same joke.
It makes me look like a crazy person.
God, are you kidding me? What? I got one wonton. I got a tub of soup, and I got one split wonton. Look at that, just floating there.
But this movie doesn't even have the basic decency to limit itself to destroying both itself and the legacy of Ghostbusters. No, this movie has to attack one of my all-time favorite science fiction series. It has to rape it as well. It's not enough to just rape the Ghostbusters franchise with this shitty remake that no one wanted. No, we have to destroy... Well, just watch the clip.
I'm sorry, hello? Who are you?
Holtzman.
Yes, for those of you who aren't aware, this is a Dune reference. Why is there a Dune reference in a 2016 reboot of Ghostbusters with a feminist, the all-female cast? I don't know, but for those of you who haven't seen Dune, Dr. Holtzman was a super genius in the Dune universe who invented the Holtzman Effect. The Holtzman Effect has a lot of things. It las guns, personal shields, but most notably, the Holtzman Effect allows spaceships in Dune to fold space-time and teleport across the universe, and it's kind of the basic scientific principle around one of the great science fiction series of all time. But we have to rape that too, because this movie sucks that hard. So, Dr. Holtzman, though, she is a comedic genius. She is a genius. And we're gonna have another brilliant joke. Here we go, guys. This is classy humor right here.
A few months ago, we spent 8 nights at the Chelsea Hotel. We didn't get anything.
Well, we didn't think so. And then later in the lab when we were reviewing these tapes.
Cool joke. It was funny. It's disgusting.
Is it more or less disgusting if I tell you it came from the front?
So for those of you who haven't vomited yet, Abby agrees to take the book off of Amazon if Erin will take them to the haunted mansion and introduce them to the effeminate males. So they take them to the haunted mansion and they introduce them to the effeminate males, and we're treated to yet another poop joke. Because that's really the level that this movie has sunk to. It's just desperate to get a laugh, so we're going to just bring in more and more bodily fluid jokes, and hopefully someone will find this movie entertaining. Maybe this is made for kids? I don't know who the target audience of this movie was, like hipster women?
And I believe it made him soil himself.
Jesus.
Wow, soiling. I'd put that at a T3.
T4 if it was poo. Unless you ate something weird. Then it wasn't the ghost. Kind of hard to suss that out after the fact, though.
I didn't soil myself.
He did. He called me sobbing, saying, "Oh my God, my pants are toast."
Once again, I stress the style of humor. I didn't soil myself. Yes, he called me and said he soiled himself. It's just there's no subtlety. It's this very specific brand of comedy that's kind of hard to describe. But anyway, so they go through the mansion, they encounter a ghost, there's a shitty scene, and after that, they come to the conclusion that they have to form an organization. They have to form an elite fighting force, a crack team, a team as crack as the team that went up the Holy Mountain in Alexander Jodorowsky's Holy Mountain to find the secret of immortality. So in one of the most ironic scenes in this movie, and this movie's full of irony, we have a reenacting of what it must have been like when the original Ghostbusters cast was watching this film.
Her friends, who's she gonna call?
Tonight, the Ghost Jumpers make contact with the ghost of Bigfoot.
These phonies. I mean, you know what? These guys are the reasons you got fired. It's because of stuff like this that makes it impossible for us to do our real work.
Do I even really need to comment on that? Phonies making it impossible for people to make real movies? Well, given that this film cost $150,000 and basically made it so Ghostbusters 3 will never be made, yeah, it was a bunch of phonies who ruined the reputation of the original Ghostbusters team and made it so Ghostbusters 3, where they go to hell, will never be made. That and the fact that the actor who played Egon died. So after that, as they're forming their crack team, they go to the dean of the university that Abby works at. By the way, because Abby posted the video from the mansion online, Erin gets fired from her job and will probably wind up on the street soon. But this is, of course, played for laughs, because most modern comedy is made for sociopaths. So they go to the dean of Abby's university and they ask him for more money. And as with everybody in this movie, we have a guy who's either gay or just extremely effeminate and heterosexual. And we get a hilarious diss scene
of higher learning. And if you guys want to study ghosts, do it somewhere else, because I have 2 words for you.
Let me guess, get out? No, he's gonna say suck it. He's not gonna say suck it.
Suck it.
You were right.
You know, oh my gosh. I think it might be a ghost. Oh no, it's not. It's just a bird. Bye. There's the door.
So after getting kicked out, the Ghostbusters move into the upper floor of the Chinese restaurant that served the shitty soup earlier on, connecting the disparate plot threads together. You thought that shitty wonton joke was going nowhere? Ho 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 ho, no, my friends. That shitty wonton joke was integral to the plot of the movie. So now that they've moved in, much like the original Ghostbusters movie, they need to get a receptionist. And the only person who wants to work for them is Chris Hemsworth. Why Chris Hemsworth wants to work for them, I don't know. But as with all males in this movie, he's completely retarded. And in an awesome, empowering reversal, they hire him because of the way he looks. Just like how men hire women for receptionists because of the way they look, and not because their talent. So women who get anywhere in organizations don't get there by their talent, they get there because men like the way they look. So all strong, empowered women are just there because men want to bang them, and no woman has ever achieved anything by her own merit. Or something like that. So we get a fun reversal of the sexual harassment scene, guys. This is gonna be great.
You know, we should probably start with a very important question that we're asking all of the applicants. Are you seeing anyone right now?
Seeing anyone?
Yeah, just for business purposes.
Business purposes only.
I'm seeing all 3 of you in front of me.
If you haven't grasped yet, Chris Hemsworth's character is completely retarded, and it just gets worse and worse as the movie goes on. His character can't answer the phone. They literally just keep him around so they can ogle him. And this interview continues with yet another scene that was just so clever I had to include it in this review.
Would it be okay if I bring my cat to work sometimes? He has major anxiety problems.
You know what? I would love to let your cat live here with you, but I have a pretty severe cat allergy.
Oh, I don't have a cat. He's a dog. His name's my cat.
Ironically, though, when they hire him, they confirm a stereotype which men are always saying with regards to why they don't want women to work in certain jobs, like being a firefighter. That is because of biological differences, women can't carry nearly as much as men.
We need help around here. We cannot keep carrying that equipment up here, and I know...
That's the dude I saw. I'm telling you, that's him.
We get another class 4, and this one's even more ionizing than one at the Aldridge Mansion.
Where are these ghosts coming from?
We are finally introduced to the third Ghostbuster, Leslie Jones. Okay, guys, like, couldn't they have found some, like, decent-looking mulatto? Couldn't they have gotten, like, Rosario Dawson or Zoe Saldana? That they really have to get this for the movie? I'm not even gonna go there, but, R.I.P. Harambe. Anyways, so yeah, she works as a Metro fare collector, which is ironic because that is where a lot of Dindus do work, because it's a government job, so they get affirmative action. In Canada, at least, fare collectors can get like 60, 70 grand a year, plus a ton of benefits and other stuff. So she notices that there's a ghost. So she, using her IQ deviation and her high time preference, takes them on the railroad tracks. It's like, don't worry, guys. The train's not coming for at least 30 seconds. We can get down here. We can look at it. My time preference is so high. 30 seconds might as well be 30 years into the future. So they go down, and we get to see some more of this movie's excellent special effects.
Well, I guess he going to Queens. He's gonna be the third scariest thing on that train.
Thank you. Did you get sugar in it this time?
I hate coffee. Yeah, the sugar's in there.
Sugar's in it.
So we see the Ghostbusters use their proton packs to defeat the ghost, and the ghost gets sucked onto a train, and we see some of Leslie Jones's amazing dialogue. And the movie will only get better from here with her addition. As if this movie wasn't shitty enough, we have to throw this in. I hope you enjoyed the scene. So she joins the Ghostbusting team, and we're treated to a "we was Kangs and Queens" moment that just solidifies everything wrong with this film.
Come on, baby. You need me. You need Patty. Patty come with benefits. You need me. Stop playing like you don't.
So because Leslie Jones didn't do nothing, she was being a good girl, and she stole a hearse for them. But she didn't do nothing wrong. The hearse was just there. What are you going to do? So they now have the hearse. And yeah, so the Ghostbusters are together.
You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car.
But the asshole Bill Murray himself decides that he's going to make an appearance in this shit-stopper of a movie. The man who stopped Ghostbusters 3, which would have been far superior to this. Even if it was the Ghostbusters just taking a shit, it would have been better than this film. So he decides to show up in a truly amazing cameo.
He is a famed debunker of the paranormal. Dr. Heiss, you're a highly regarded scientific authority. Your credentials are impeccable.
Thank you, Pat.
But Bill Murray meets the same fate as Ghostbusters 3, which he stopped.
Casper?
Are you the Ghostbusters?
Actually, we're the conductors of the metaphysical.
Yes, we're the Ghostbusters.
So now that our heroes have killed Bill Murray, the Ghostbusters are called to a rock concert in which another effeminate, likely gay male complains to them about how he needs to be saved because there's a ghost that's haunting the concert hall. And we're treated to yet another excellent dialogue scene.
That is not what he said.
Please, follow me. Right away, please, all of you. Fernando was down here when something crawled out of a wall vent, and I heard him screaming, so I went to check, and that's when the thing was tossing Fernando all around the room. I thought it was gonna kill him. I shrieked when I saw it. I guess I scared it because I'm told that I have a very disturbing scream.
Yeah, I can see that.
So in one of maybe 3 kind of funny moments in this movie, the ghost that looks kind of like a demon decides to show up in the middle of a metal concert. I mean, that's kind of funny. And people just think it's part of the show until they kill the main singer and his death is played for laughs. I mean, that's kind of dark, isn't it?
Say something gentle! Behold the power of the young age! We have summoned Satan himself! For we are the kingdom of...
But we get a scene where our heroes have to crowd surf over to get at the ghost, and Leslie Jones makes some great commentary on white privilege, how Black Lives Matter, and the glass ceiling which she hits, or I guess kind of glass floor that she hits as she tries to crowd surf herself.
Come on, move me left! Okay, you sweaty freaks! I'm about to save you from this ghost! Okay, so I don't know if it was a race thing or a lady thing, but I'm mad as hell.
So finally, after like an hour and a half of completely pointless, boring, horrible shit that makes you want to kill yourself, we're finally introduced to our antagonist of this movie, who turns out to be a literally basement dwelling, because he's the janitor of an apartment building that lives in a basement dwelling, edgy pole user who wants to strike back at the world that's wronged him. So using his autistic superpowers and his reading of Ebola, he builds a series of windows to the other side, and when he shatters the windows, ghosts will come out of the windows and destroy the world because the world wronged him because they didn't understand how great his autism was. And here's the scene.
Then you must have been afforded the basic dignity and respect of a human being, which I have been denied. I see things that no one else does, and for it, I am rewarded with nothing but scorn and mockery. Luckily, I am not the only one seeking revenge. Behind these are millions of souls, souls which have been cast aside, souls who see the world as it truly is, as garbage, garbage that needs to be cleaned up. When these barriers are destroyed, an army of the undead will return to... In that case, bye.
So he unleashes the ghosts upon the world to try to destroy it, and in yet another attempt to get a laugh out of the audience or to make people like this movie by associating it with a better movie, we get both the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and a really weird scene that breaks the fourth wall where people are lying on the street, but you can see under them because there's the streets of New York are glass floors apparently, or something like that.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. This is just wrong. I can't reach the trigger.
So after that, we're treated to an Avengers-inspired action scene, which has some of the worst special effects and the worst green screen I've seen in a long time. There's this scene in Die Another Day where James Bond is like on an iceberg after he's piloting the rocket car. And it's just horrible green screen. You can tell it's rear-projected. And this is almost as bad. And this movie had $150 million. And this is like the super action scene. This is where all the money went. But because even the pole user main female, the pole user main antagonist has to be effeminate and ambiguously gay in this movie, we have a Peter Pan reference. Why is there a Peter Pan reference in this movie? I don't know, but they had to do it. They just had to do it.
I don't know. Is this a little too Peter Pan? Anyway, I'll embrace it.
So our heroes blow up the Ghostmobile over the portal to the world that the ghosts are coming through, and somehow that's protonic reversal, and all the ghosts get sucked back in, and the movie's resolved. However, we're treated to the now unpossessed Chris. Yes, he was possessed. I forgot to mention that. Who cares? The now unpossessed Chris Hemsworth has a hilarious being oblivious moment where he thinks that he saved the day, but he can't save the day because that's a man, baby. To quote another much funnier movie.
That's right. We all did it.
Well,
What did you do, Kevin?
I did a lot, actually. I'll have you know that I walked over to the power box, pushed a bunch of buttons, everything got sucked into the portal, then it closed up.
So for some reason, closing the ghost portal caused Abby and Erin's hair to turn white. So they get their hair dyed and were treated to the only legitimately clever joke in the entire film, although it's ruined by horrific delivery and editing.
It's my fault anyway. The box said the color was called Garfield.
Oh.
It wasn't even the cat. It was the president.
So the government shows up because apparently Homeland Security knows about ghosts, but they don't have any way to actually stop them. So we got like Bureau 713 from Alone in the Dark, except even shittier than Bureau 713 in that movie. So Bureau 713 is like, okay guys, we're going to deputize you. You're going to help the government fight ghosts. We'll give you anything you want. They're like, anything? Yeah, we're going to move out of the Chinese restaurant and buy the firehouse. So unlike the Ghostbusters in the original movie, who bought the firehouse through capitalism because a bunch of people hired them to go and catch ghosts, they were just given it through a government make works job program and affirmative action because they're the female Ghostbusters team. But as we're heading to the end of this movie, we have yet another funny line of dialogue from the ever wonderful Leslie Jones.
Anything?
Hell yeah!
And like every shitty movie, we have scenes interspersed through the credits. To reference the Nostalgia Critic briefly, I remember when he was doing his Inspector Gadget review, he called the after credit scene a desperate attempt to get laughs. The Nostalgia Critic was like, okay, we have to get a laugh, so we're just going to throw as many bloopers, as many shitty scenes in as we can. So hopefully people will leave this movie and not burn the theater down because it's that bad. So for those of you who are waiting to see the resolution of the Wonton plot, we get a resolution of the Wonton plot, which was this movie's major subplot and major character arc, actually. Yeah.
I'm just looking for a reasonable ratio of wontons to broth. This is absolute madness.
And as a final fuck you to the audience before this movie ends, Sigourney Weaver comes in. Why is she in this movie? Because we have to have everybody else. I skipped the scene with Ernie Hudson. I don't want to destroy Ernie Hudson's career anymore by having him in this piece of shit. Basically, Leslie Jones stole the hearse from him because he runs a funeral home. And like every black man who tries to get a job in America or tries to start his own business, a Dindu didn't do nothing. And the Dindu didn't do nothing, destroyed his business. It reminds me of that scene in the LA riots where the Dindus are looting the like black guy who's trying to make a decent living store. Like he saved all his life to open his store. He was making an honest living, and then a bunch of Dindus just robbed him despite being a proud man of color. So Ernie Hudson's probably going to go bankrupt. He's probably going to get sued for not being able to fulfill his obligations and live out on the streets. So way to go, Sigourney Weaver. I guess this is the money shot of your entire career.
My mentor, Dr. Rebecca Gorin. This is reckless, Julian.
So I think we all knew this movie was going to suck. I went into it knowing it was going to suck. It was kind of interesting because it sucked in a different way than I thought. I thought like the pause and the dildo would be the main bad part, but it wasn't really that bad. I mean, other than it being an all-female cast and a reboot that nobody wanted, other than all the men just being effeminate losers, there wasn't really that much in this film. There wasn't that much like anti-racism humor. There wasn't like some random white nationalist other than the guy who's reviewing this movie. There wasn't any like Christian guy, like Christian fundamentalist screaming about them, how they're doing Satan's work, or something like that. The real shit of the movie was just that the plot went nowhere. There wasn't really a plot. They kind of just were like, oh, there's a plot, like halfway through. That was kind of an issue with the movie. The fact that the jokes were just horribly delivered. The acting was terrible. The editing was terrible. Those are kind of the real flaws of Ghostbusters. That's really why it was a shitty movie. Like the feminism stuff would have made it bad, but this stuff made it horrible. It's not as bad as something like Wolverine, which is still the worst mainstream movie I've ever seen. But it's pretty damn bad. It's pretty damn awful, especially given the amount of hype this film had and the amount of money that Sony shoved into this. I guess Sony thought this was going to be their new franchise. It was going to be the next Avatar. It was going to make billions of dollars. The film barely broke even. I know if you look at it, it says it made $100 million, but advertising budgets for this kind of movie are absurdly high. Maybe they'll make it back in DVD sales and Ghostbusters merchandise, because who doesn't want a plushie of Leslie Jones? So I hope you enjoyed my attempt to make a highly edited video. Maybe I'll start up a side channel and I'll call it AT Videos or AT Movies, and I'll put up one video every couple months, and then maybe this video will go viral, and then after it goes viral, and then this video will go viral, and then maybe I'll put out a video like after my vacation to Spain I'm going to take, and I'm going to let the channel die. So hopefully you like this video. Hopefully it doesn't get a billion false copyright strikes from the haters. It probably will, because YouTube copyright strikes everything, even though this is clearly a transformative work. But Happy New Year, guys. If you sat through this whole thing, God bless you, and I'll talk to you guys later.